Our people gonna rise. Our people gonna rise. Listen to our cries through the pain and lies. Our people gonna rise. Ready? Here we go. Our people gonna rise. Our people gonna rise. Listen to our cries through the pain and lies. Our people gonna rise. All right, let's sing that again. Our people gonna rise. Our people gonna rise. Listen to our cries through the pain and lies. Our people gonna rise. Our people gonna sing. Our people gonna sing. Our people gonna sing. In spite of everything, hear our freedom ring. Our people gonna sing. Our people gonna fight. Our people gonna fight. Our people gonna fight. For what we know is right, we'll march into the night. Our people gonna fight. Our people gonna grieve. Our people gonna grieve. Our people gonna grieve. Whatever you believe, we have the right to breathe. Our people gonna grieve. Our people gonna pray. Our people gonna pray. Our people gonna pray. Take our rights away. See you on election day. Our people gonna pray. We better do that verse again. Our people gonna pray. Our people gonna pray. Take our rights away. See you on election day. Our people gonna pray. Oh, I heard you all on that one. Do that verse one more time. Our people gonna pray. Our people gonna pray. Take our rights away. See you on election day. Our people gonna pray. Our people gonna rise. Our people gonna rise. Our people gonna rise. Listen to our cries through the pain and lies. Our people gonna rise. Listen to our cries. Listen to our cries through the pain and lies. Our people gonna rise. Listen to our cries. Listen to our cries through the pain and lies. Our people gonna rise. Right, thanks everybody.
Good morning, church. My name is Gina Frazier, and I'm a member of the church in Ocean Park. I am here to welcome you to this unique multi-faith community that is dedicated to social justice. You may be wondering if you are welcomed here. We are interfaith, so you are welcome if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, if you're pagan, Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, Christian, atheist, or some combination or something else altogether. You are welcome if you're single, married, divorced, gay, transgender, very rich, or living on the edge. We welcome those who are fidgety or very focused, just woke up, or just got out of jail. We don't care if you're more religious than the Pope or haven't been to church since your nephew's bar mitzvah. We welcome people of all ages and abilities. We welcome soccer moms, tree huggers, latte sippers, vegans, junk food eaters. You are welcome here if you are in recovery or struggle with addictions. And if you're having problems or you're down in the dumps. We welcome those who like organized religions and those who don't. You are welcome if you work hard, don't work, can't spell, or if you're here because you heard that this is a strange church and you want to check it out. You are welcomed here if you are ink, pierced, or both. We offer a special welcome to those who could use a prayer right now or have religion shoved down their throats as a kid. You are welcome if you are a tourist seeker or a doubter or all of those. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park.
I'm Reverend Janet Gollery McKithen, and I'm the minister at the church in Ocean Park, and I also welcome you here. We are multi-faith, so you may hear something that you disagree with from somebody, and just know that whoever it is that just spoke, your voice is just as important as theirs. The only people who speak for the church in Ocean Park in its totality is the administrative board. So your voice is just as important. If you find something that has been uncomfortable or you'd like to speak more about it, let us know and we'll try to set up a small group to discuss it further. This morning, we have a friend of mine is here. She's become a friend of mine. Milana Davis is here, and we'll introduce her later. But I'm excited that you're here and that she's here, and we'll get to that in a few moments. But we want to begin by acknowledging that we are currently sitting on stolen land. This land in Santa Monica was taken violently from the Chumash, the Quiche, and the Tongva peoples. We acknowledge the harms of genocide, forced assimilation, enslavement, and destruction at the hands of U.S. colonial settlerism. We also acknowledge that our communities and our country was built on the backs of people stolen from Africa, placed into bondage, and forced into labor. We acknowledge that we benefit from that labor that has never been repaid. In our acknowledgement, let us commit ourselves to helping create a more just and equitable world through changing how we do things that we see as normal, but are actually systemically hurting people. We all have biases, and it takes intentionality to build compassion for those whose lives are different from ours. And we seek at the Church in Ocean Park to work across boundaries, to tear down unjust systems, and to build relationships of healing and love. Thank you for being a part of bending the arc toward justice. As you know, we need that every day, more and more. We center ourselves each week by a chant by Thich Nhat Hanh, I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now, 3 times. Let's take a deep breath. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park.
We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. If you have your hands ready, help me out, please. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. I hear some nice harmonies. We're fighting for our freedom. We're fighting for our freedom. We shall not be moved. We're fighting for our freedom. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. All right, y'all, good.
Milana Davis is the niece of Silas White, who is a former deposition in Los Angeles Superior Court stenographer. She is currently a freelance transcriptionist, most recently providing transcription service for The Empty Chair, a feature documentary on the unionization of Starbucks. Milana, her husband, and their 3 children currently reside in Los Angeles, where she acted as home educator during the early years of their education. And their eldest, Chance Davis, is a recent USC MFA film production graduate, currently freelancing as a videographer, editor, and animator. Santa Monica's current Black History Month theme, Black Media and the Arts, is extremely prevalent in the Davis household, where all 3 children are classically trained pianists, and 2 of them obtained degrees in the arts. Silas White's vision of the Ebony Beach Club and all that it would have represented is most definitely woven into the fabric of this family. Milana is a courageous activist working for a more just community. She'll share with us what happened with her uncle, and so it actually happened to their entire family, and so it actually happened to not only them, but had repercussions in this community and way beyond for generations to come. Some of the repercussions we will never know. Welcome, Milana Davis.
Thank you. Good morning. To begin with, we thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. And upon receiving your invite, I began to explore the CIOP website and was quickly flooded with admiration for all that you do and all that you stand for. You champion so very many life-impacting causes, and we are extremely grateful for the time many of you have taken to support our attempts to get repair in the name of my uncle Silas White. As established and respected members of the Santa Monica community, your voices, be they written to or spoken at the city council meetings, carry significant weight. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Ebony Beach Club story, but for those who are not, I will share a brief summary of its timeline with you. An abandoned Elks Lodge, which has remained vacant for 13 years, is located at 1811 Ocean Avenue, a mere block away from the space known as the Inkwell. A 52-year-old man has a vision for the vacant property and purchased it from its then owner in May of 1957. The man has architectural plans drawn for the renovation of his property and applies for the necessary permits. The city of Santa Monica becomes aware of the plans for the property and seizes it under eminent domain, citing the need for a public parking lot. The owner of the property, Silas White, battles in court in an attempt to retain his land. By 1958, a mere 7 months after purchasing the property that sat vacant for 13 years prior, Silas White loses his court battle and his property and land is taken by the city of Santa Monica. 2 years pass before the building is demolished. 2 more years pass and Silas White dies at the age of 57. 4 more years pass, and in 1966, 8 years after the property was taken for a public parking lot, an 82-year deal is signed and the city enters into a ground lease agreement with Royal Inns of America Incorporated to develop a, quote, first-class hotel. Located on the corner of Ocean Avenue and Pico Boulevard, in the heart of the city, with an ocean view and within walking distance of the beach, Main Street, the pier, and the downtown shopping area. In 2000, the property becomes the Viceroy Santa Monica. The council extends the lease another 17 years to make it a 99-year term ending in September 2065, with the city of Santa Monica receiving profits. As of 2024, the Viceroy Santa Monica has completed a $21 million renovation and is currently leasing from the city of Santa Monica. Now, you may or may not have noticed that in this particular rendition of this awful story, I did not mention race. I simply stated the undisputed facts of the matter as we know them, some of which could be seen in the Santa Monica History Museum, where they apparently sell prints for up to $145 of the Ebony Beach Club bearing signs posted by my uncle condemning racial discrimination in a valiant attempt to retain his property. The racial discrimination signs posted by my uncle in this valiant attempt to retain his property in the case against the city regarding that land and the various ways it has profited off of it stands on the timeline of facts alone. But we all know there is more to the story. Once you add in the actual reason for taking the land after it sat abandoned, unwanted, and of no interest to anyone, including the city of Santa Monica, for 13 years, until it was learned it would be turned into an establishment to provide a safe haven, if you will, for Black people and people of color. It magnifies the injustice of the actions taken by the city. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot that I personally can say about my uncle aside from what I have learned about him from historical recounts and my cousin's memories of him. You see, it wasn't until Justice for Bruce's Beach story and how absolutely amazing it was. You see, it wasn't until the Justice for Bruce's Beach became a prominent story in the media that I began to learn of him in greater detail. One day, Connie and I began to talk about Kevon Ward's advocacy in the Bruce's Beach story and how absolutely amazing it was that this family would finally see some sort of repair for the terrible treatment endured by their ancestors. It was during that conversation that Connie said to me, "You know, my father had property in Santa Monica that was taken from him." To which I responded, "What?" Connie then told me the heart-wrenching story of the deplorable treatment her father was subjected to here in the city he had adopted and had hoped would provide refuge for him during the Great Migration. As I've stated before, it would seem he fled the degradation of the Jim Crow South only to unwittingly find himself in the oppressive clutches of the Jim Crow West. That conversation ended with Connie saying, "Maybe I should contact Where Is My Land?" And my response was, "Yes, you should." She did. They responded. And here we are, so very close to receiving justice for Silas White, where there previously seemed to have been no possibility of it. We now have 3 of the 4 council votes needed once this item is put on the agenda. So we ask for your continued support to see that it does indeed get placed on the agenda and that we do get that necessary 4th vote. There will be a QR code available that will direct you to a toolkit that will prove invaluable in helping us apply that last bit of much needed pressure to ensure that repair to Connie White for all that her father and her family suffered is finally provided. I'd also like to say that we are fully aware that the struggle for repair doesn't end with our family. We are by no means alone among minority families subjugated to the detriments of race-driven practices. My greatest hope is that in getting repair for what was done to my Uncle Silas, the momentum started with Justice for Bruce's Beach of the wronged receiving proper restitution will grow stronger, setting a precedent right here in Santa Monica that will continue with the Belmar Triangle families and all others who had land stolen from them so callously. We must continue to stand together in support of one another. And in honor of the 59th anniversary of Bloody Sunday on the iconic Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, I would like to leave you with this quote. Quote, "You are a light. You are the light. Never let anyone, any person, or any force dampen, dim, or diminish your light. Release the need to hate, to harbor division, and the incitement of revenge. Release all bitterness. Hold only love, only peace in your heart, knowing that the battle of good to overcome evil is already won." John Lewis on Being Human, and Across That Bridge, A Vision for Change and the Future of America. Thank you very much.
Now we're going to hear from Connie, Silas's daughter. She's on Zoom. So, Connie?
Thank you for the opportunity of speaking with you this morning. I'm sorry I'm unable to be there in person, but at least we have the technology. Before telling you about the story that Milana just described, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my dad. He was a very gregarious person, and he was always busy. I never really saw him sitting down at any point idle. His mind was always clicking. He always had lots and lots of ideas. And over the years, the ideas always ended up in something very constructive. From the time I was about 3 years old, my dad used to take me to the inkwell. We would go down there every Saturday or Sunday, and he would put me high upon his shoulders so I could see the water, but also because I was afraid of the sand crabs. We would go every week and have a really great time. And then my dad would suddenly say, "Well, it's time to go home." And at that point, I would start crying because I didn't want to leave. My dad said, "Well, we have to leave because we're soaking wet and there's no place for us to change clothes except the restroom or to change clothes in the car." So I cried all the way home. But every week it was the same thing over and over and over again. Over the years, as I said, my dad's mind kept clicking and clicking. And he always talked about community. And he first started a business. He opened a laundromat in Santa Monica between 18th and 19th on Pico Boulevard. Then he opened 2 real estate offices in Santa Monica. And he later opened a very successful hamburger stand in Los Angeles. This is just an idea of the kind of man he was in terms of progress and doing things. He kept talking about community, though, and he said, "There really is more that I want to do." And in my own mind, although it was never said, I really believe that the seed for the Ebony Beach Club was planted in those days when he and I used to go to the beach every week. So about in 1957, he did finally find such a place that he could call Ebony Beach Club. Milana has already described that to you and gone through the process. I'd just like to share with you now that after all of this happened, that there were like many, many reactions in our family. The 3 of us, it was like, I just can't describe it. It was devastating. There were tears and anger. My dad was very, very, very angry because he had fought so hard. And before that, we used to talk a lot and laugh a lot, and we were really a family unit. And I feel that our whole family structure broke down at that particular point. And after that, we started just feeling very sad about everything that had happened, but not really talking about it much. And then the next stage was just to not talk about it at all. And it was never, ever mentioned again. And here we are, almost 65 years later. It never came up again. My mom never talked about it. Nobody ever talked about it. I never talked about it, but it was always in my mind. And now that we bring ourselves to the present time, and thank you, the help of my cousin Milana and Where's My Land, we finally possibly see a light at the end of the tunnel. I hope so, not just for me, but for everyone who has suffered these kinds of things in their lifetimes. I want to thank you very, very much for giving me the opportunity to speak with you this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Connie.
You're welcome.
Ocean Park, and in 1957 the city didn't just pick on the black people, but they picked on all the poor people that used to live here, and they had a plan to turn what we called Ocean Park. We really felt that this was Ocean Park at the beach. They still call this Ocean Park, but they wanted to turn the whole poor community into Miami Beach or Honolulu. And they were all business people who lived north of Wilshire, and they condemned the whole beach from Pico to Venice and began tearing it all down. Luckily, thanks to the church here, the minister was Reverend Spears at the time, and I went to school with his son, and we were going, we don't know where we're going to go. They're kicking everybody out from the neighborhood. And the Reverend lived 2 doors over in a little house, and we went to see him, and he said, if you want, you can move into our house. So we did, and we stayed there for several years. It was a great blessing from the church here. And but anyway, it wasn't just your neighborhood. The plan was to go from the border all the way to Pico to build high-rises, but luckily the plan fell through after they built the 2. They just took them so much time to do it, and anyway, yeah, thank you.
I think there was a lot of things going on at the same time, but.
Hi, even though I attended the Santa Monica City Council meeting on Tuesday, and I am aware of this issue, I just want to thank you for speaking today, and thank you also to Connie. I think it's wonderful when situations as tragic as this are spoken about in every public setting. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you as well, and I think I have a whole bunch of questions. Some of them are like what we can do, who are the 3 council members who are favorable, and what it seems like at some level it would be good to persuade all of them to support this as a community. The other questions are maybe, I don't know, they're maybe not as relevant, maybe they are important, because eminent domain has been used in this country for a huge range of things. And sometimes people are justly compensated. I think in the case with the beach club and many others that have to do with race, they weren't justly compensated. Whether you agree with, eminent domain as a tool or not, it's been used to justify removal of people and taking their wealth, particularly people of color. And so, I don't know, I thank you for bringing it to the church, and I think that the questions I have are about kind of the practical next steps and actually maybe even what just compensation looks like as well. Thank you.
I can answer some real quick. We have 2 council members that are willing to bring it up so far, Jesse and Caroline, of course. Pardon? Oh, Negretti too came around. Okay, good. So there are 3, maybe they'll get on the agenda that way. It has to have at least 3 to get on the agenda. They wouldn't even do that. I mean, how wimpy are they? But at any rate, so they'll at least discuss it in public. So that's the first step. There's also a petition. I think there's still a petition, and we're gonna put that downstairs on the bulletin board. So when you go out, there's a QR code, you can do it with your phone, and you can go to the petition. So, and we'll talk about more of these, but the main thing is, as many of people as possible here, and all your friends go to the city council the next time there is one, and at 5:30 is when everybody can speak if it's not on the agenda, and say it needs to get on the agenda and you need to do something about this. This is your chance. It's March 17th?
I think so, if that's a Tuesday.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, it seems like there needs to be more in between, but maybe that's the next one. Oh, next one, okay.
When I look at what has happened to this man and to this family, I am reminded again about the apology that the city more or less issued to African Americans without nothing other than, well, we'll do something. Clearly, what are they going to do? Now we have an issue where there's a face and a name that the city was involved in to address this. For them not to take it up is a contradiction to what they had apologized for. I mean, for those of us who were there for the apology, weren't clear as to what form it would take. And I think, Marley, if that's your name? Milana. And what is, and Connie? Yes, it is much bigger than you. I mean, yeah, you are, you know, in it, but what the city is responsible for is much bigger than you. And, you know, I, for one, most certainly feel committed to wanting to address this, not just for the sake of addressing it, because it's the right thing to do. You know, and so I'll just leave it at that.
Right, and you can say that kind of thing. That's what I said at the city council. Like a year and a half ago, you said you were sorry, and here's an example of something that you could do. Let's do it.
Yes, I was thinking about some of the things that the city council had said that they would do, and they sort of backslid on that as far as the right to return. We have not seen really any indications of some of our black families being able to come back into Santa Monica and live. And then also with the apology, it's, you know, my mom used to say it's fallen on deaf ears type of thing, you know. And I also wanted to state that, I'm sorry, I also wanted to state that I know exactly where you're talking about. You're talking about like the Viceroy. So I know I was born in 1957, and I'll be 67 this year. So I'm thinking about the millions and millions of dollars that Santa Monica has made. So I'm thinking, like, what kind of money do you think Santa Monica is going to give out? You know, I'm just wondering, because it seems so enormous when I think about, you know, even with the people that were displaced, when they were talking about letting them come back in. But these people had homes. They didn't have, like, you know, little shacks. They had homes. And I'm thinking the amount of money that Santa Monica has made from these people being displaced and building other things on that. And for Santa Monica to tell them, oh, come on in, you'll get a Section 8 voucher or something like that. I was insulted by it. I was insulted by it because I just felt like if they had homes, maybe what they should have done was they should have close down maybe Santa Monica Airport and build up a Black community and give them back homes instead of apartments. They didn't have apartments, they had homes. So I just wanted to say to you that I'll be at the Santa Monica courthouse as well, and I'm going to try to follow this the whole way through because I think it's very, very important. So I hope the church will constantly keep us informed of what's going on and how we can support.
Thank you. Yeah, we're not going to let it go. Anybody else? Is there anybody on Zoom that wanted to speak? Oh, Bob.
I may have missed this, but I just wanted to ask what is being sought as reparations for this
What is,
tremendous injustice.
Connie, do you want to respond to that?
No, my response is no, nothing so far. I have no idea.
So it's kind of in the hands. Kavan is helping with all, she was instrumental in getting Bruce's Beach back to the right family, and she's working with this as well. So they're working together.
So it's a matter of getting the property returned to the family. Is that the main goal?
That's a goal, I would think.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know at this point. I don't know at this point what exactly would be the remedy, because I believe that the Viceroy is composed of several properties that they had taken. So I don't know exactly how that would work, but what I do know is that Connie should be compensated for past losses and the future, the current value of that property that was taken. I firmly believe with my uncle's creativity, intention, entrepreneurial abilities, the Ebony Beach Club would have been spectacular, and I really feel that Santa Monica missed out. It would have been an extraordinary place. And I thought it was ironic that in the Black History Proclamation, they had Black performers, and the mayor stated that it was wonderful to have music and art in City Hall, to which I say that would have been here the whole time. It would have been here for the last 66 years if they hadn't kept him from accomplishing his goal. He was, I think, 2 months away from opening. Was when he applied for permits that they found out what the intent was for the property, and that's when they stepped in. So again, it sat abandoned for 13 years. He purchased it in May of '57, and by '58, they had battled in court and seized the property.
If I understand correctly, I happened to be at the Santa Monica Democratic Club meeting this past Wednesday, and one of the council members was, I think, suggesting as part of the agendized item is to rework the lease agreement, which would compensate the family in form. I don't know if that's going to come into fruition, and I think that's what may be, the 4 votes are needed. But that's certainly within the framework and the mindset of at least one council member. We work the lease agreement, that the lease now, is not seen by the city but by the family. That's my understanding that I got from it.
Yes, I don't know the situation well, and I'm from the Caribbean. I've been here long enough, I guess, to know about it, but the thought I have is that are there sometimes what happens in other places and even other countries influence what is happening in somewhere else? Are there other inkwell situations in other states? Are there other similar situations elsewhere? And do we know about them and what is transpiring with those situations as well as ours here?
Well, I do know about Bruce's Beach, which is how I came to even know that this story existed. As Connie stated, no one talked about it. My grandmother was Silas's sister, and I grew up with her all my life. Never heard this story. And I lived with Connie's mother for a period of time. Never heard this story. And I'm just now learning this man, Silas White, and all that he was. And he was just an amazing person. He had so many accomplishments. You know, being a black man in that time period, the things he accomplished were extraordinary. And the dreams and goals that he had were also extraordinary. And again, I don't doubt that he would have accomplished that. And Connie also is representative. I say she embodies everything that he must have been, because she's amazing. I mean, her career, when I had to speak recently and I needed her CV, and she gave me so much. I said, I only have, I only have 2 minutes. Like, how can I do that? And to this day, she still teaches bilingual education via Zoom. So, like I said, I didn't know until Bruce's Beach became highlighted in the media, thanks to Kavon Ward. And Connie and I had that conversation, and that's the first I heard, which is why it's important that these things get out.
Right. So there is a precedence in Bruce's Beach that was given back to the family. Yeah, just in Manhattan.
Yeah, just want to add another little history. I grew up here, and we had a situation happen to us. And at the same time, if people ever think about it, why does the Santa Monica Freeway not go straight to the ocean, and it swerves this way? We had a vibrant black community over on that side of town at the same time as your grandfather was there. And the city and they decided to run the freeway right through the black neighborhood and destroyed the heart of the black neighborhood there. Anyway, I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
From what I know, it's not that hard to get something on the agenda. I know the mayor works with the city manager in setting the agenda. And you mentioned 3 people, and that's good. It's hard to imagine that Mayor Brock and the others and the city manager wouldn't put it as a discussion item to see where people want the city to go on this. And I urge you to contact the mayor and contact the city manager respectfully and ask it. It should be on the next agenda.
Yeah, you'd think it would be easy to do, but actually Caroline Tarosis, council member, tried to get it on, and they wouldn't. Yeah, I know, but she brought it up to him. She's a council member. And so, so now we've spoken it a few times, and I think so we just need to back her up, because they're not paying attention to Caroline. So are there any other folks on Zoom that wanted to speak? Okay, well, thank you so much. We will definitely be on top of this, and the next time is March 19th, you guys. And so go at 5:15, because you have to get a chit, and then you can speak at 5:30. You have to go at 5:15. And it's great that they do it early now. You used to have to go at midnight. So, March 19th, Tuesday, March 19th.
Don't you have to live in Santa Monica to?
Nope. Nope. You don't. And the more people, the better. So that would be great. Thank you so much. So now we'll have a moment of silence, and then we'll have a song.
They say that freedom is a constant struggle. They say that freedom is a constant struggle. They say that freedom is a constant struggle. Oh Lord, we've been struggling so long. We must be free. We must be free. They say that justice is a constant struggle. They say that justice is a constant struggle. They say that justice is a constant struggle. Oh Lord, we've been struggling so long. We must be free. We must be free. Reparations is a constant struggle. Reparations is a constant struggle. Reparations is a constant struggle. Oh Lord, we've been struggling so long. We must be free. We must be free. Freedom. They say that freedom is a constant struggle. They say that freedom is a constant struggle. They say that freedom is a constant struggle. Oh Lord, we've been struggling so long. We must be free. We must be free. Oh Lord, we've been struggling so long. We must be free. We must be free.
More than what you do on Sunday, but making a commitment over the course of the year to try to support the church. And they're pretty easy to fill out. It's sort of self-explanatory. You put your name, what you would like to give, and in what period of time. Do you want to give every month? Do you want to give every week? Quarterly, annually, and how do you want to do it? And if you fill this out, the church will follow up with you to get all the details. So if you want it to come out of your bank account, you need a bank routing number and all of that. We'll make it easy on you, but I'm going to pass these with the basket in the bucket this morning. If you haven't done it, it would really be good. The benefit of this to the church is we need to plan. We have significant budget struggles because of the closure of the church and not having people rent the space and everything that happened during COVID that we're trying to dig ourselves out from. So having a commitment to know that money's going to be coming in regularly, it really helps us in planning for how we keep this place going. So thank you very much.
All right. We lift up those that are spoken and those that are still in our hearts as well.
Birthdays and anniversaries.
Oh, and birthdays and anniversaries. Well, we have an anniversary right there, one year of anniversary. Any birthdays?
So happy anniversary. Ready? Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary, Jerry and Marilyn. Happy anniversary to you. And who? Oh, good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So I think you're going to need your hands for the song. Ain't going to let nobody turn me around. Ready? Ain't going to let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom. Ain't gonna let city council, ain't gonna let city council turn me around. Turn me around, that's right. Turn me around. Ain't gonna let city council turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom. Racism, ain't gonna let racism turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let racism turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. I'm gonna keep on. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. One more time. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land.
Hey, unmute yourself on Zoom and we're going to say carry on together. 1, 2, 3.
Carry on.